Dateline, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This right here is a UFC mecca of the highest order.
The fans are out of their minds here.
It's one thing to have a UFC title fight. It's another thing to have it here in Rio. Brazilian nationalism is undeniable. They have experienced a whole lot of highlights thus far. Plenty more where that came from. Alexandre Pantoja, the cannibal.
Fast and furious action here. Pantoja says, let's dance. Oh, that's good straight right.
Instead of a right hand from Pantoja.
On the jungle right here. And the return of the King of Rio.
The legendary King of Rio, Jose Aldo Jr.
The most dominant featherweight ever.
The man's an absolute living legend. UFC live from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Well, in case you couldn't tell, UFC 301 takes place in Brazil tomorrow. The flyweight title is on the line in Rio. And also returning on this card is UFC Hall of Famer Jose Aldo. For more on this UFC 301, here's Joe.
Thank you, Aaron. Let's say hello to our friend Ian Parker, who, for those of you who have not been paying attention this year, has been absolutely crushing these UFC cards. So, my man, we turn our attention to 301 in Rio. Main event, Flyweight Championship of the World. Now, help me out here. Steve Erceg has been in the UFC for less than a year. He's never defeated a top 5 opponent. He opens plus 215 against the champ Pantoja and is bet all the way down to plus 155. Do you think Erceg springs the upset here?
I don't, and it's not because he looks like the general manager of a blockbuster. It's because he just doesn't have the experience. You like that one? I had that one ready to go for you. Look, Pantoja has been fighting the best of the best for a very long time. High IQ fighter, one of the best at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the world. Good striking. He's got cement for a chin, durability, cardio for days. He's willing to take one to give one to take your back. Now, Steve Erceg has the power to knock someone out. But if this fight even gets close body to body, if he closes the distance, Pantoja knows what to do. We haven't even seen Erceg go 5 rounds, a main event, or fight someone in the top 10. Knocking out Matt Schnell should not be a reason to get a title shot. Everyone, including my grandmother, has knocked out Matt Schnell. I'm taking Pantoja, and still in Rio. Let's go.
If you're right, you're getting a discounted price, which is something you're very good at sniffing out. And the one other thing to mention, this being in Rio, that home field court cage advantage has been very, very real for the Brazilian fighters over the years. All right, speaking of which, UFC icon Jose Aldo, now 37 years old, coming out of retirement for his first fight since last July to take on Jonathan Martinez in the bantamweight co-main event. Martinez laying minus 140, Aldo plus 120 on the comeback. Dog or favorite here?
You know what? Look, I love Jose Aldo. He's one of the best to do it. But listen, he retired 2 years ago. We already cried for him. He got into the Hall of Fame, and then he went and did some boxing against Jeremy Stevens and another Brazilian. Look, Jose Aldo is good, but he's 37 years old. He's been out for 2 years, and he's fighting a streaking Jonathan Martinez, who's on a 6-fight win streak, coming off a devastating leg TKO over Adrian Yanez. Also, dude, he's got good wrestling. He's got good striking. He's a high IQ fighter, zero ego. And I don't really get it, Joe. Why would Jose Aldo come back? This is not a legacy fight. If he beats Martinez, this has nothing to improve his resume. It doesn't get him to a title shot. I think this is, if anything, the UFC said, hey, we need to build this card. Let's get the King of Rio. Let's throw a lot of money at him. And at worst case scenario, Martinez wins and Martinez becomes a big name. I'm taking Martinez at minus 140 here.
That's the thing. When you stack the 299 card and then you stack the 300 card, who's left for the 301 card? Still very appealing, but you can see why Jose Aldo may have been lured out of retirement. So we've covered the main. We've covered the co-main. Rest of the card, prelims, early prelims, it's all on the table. What's your best bet?
I like Ruffy here against Malarkey. Look, Malarkey's a tough guy. He's been knocked out a bunch, taking a lot of damage. Ruffy looked so good on the Contender Series, beating someone he wasn't supposed to that way, and he finished him in devastating fashion. I like Ruffy to get it done. If you want to get fancy and go TK or KO, I see that happening too. And I don't even mind laying the chalk at minus 220. This should be a really shining bright spot moment for him on the prelims. Give me Ruffy.
All right, this is my favorite moment when you and I get an opportunity to talk. I'm not getting any younger, all right? And despite being very beautiful, you're not getting any younger either. Let's try to speed up our respective retirement plans. What's the 6-figure parlay payout you cooked up for us this week?
Joe, I've been trying here. Listen, if we hit these over a couple of weeks, we're in a really good spot. Even this one alone. So let's go my man Ruffy by KO or TKO. Let's go Yasmin Lucindo by decision. Kyle Barajo by KO or TKO. Martinez decision. Pantoja by submission. Look at that number. I don't know if we could retire, but it'd be a really good start. We'd have a really nice dinner in Vegas for UFC 303. I think even Connor may join us if we hit that one. So, listen, I know this is going to be crazy. You're laughing. That one kind of feels realistic. This one doesn't seem too long-shotty to me. I think all those are possibilities. It's not as crazy as a couple of the ones I've done. So let's see. You know what? 301 could be the one.
I'm only laughing because I've already spent the money. Job well done as always.